Hello fellow enthusiasts, my name is Christina and welcome to another Let's Get Reelz movie review. Today is Classic Movie Thursdays here on my channel, my version of Throwback Thursdays. Today's classic movie I will be reviewing for you is Hush Hush, Sweet Charlotte from 1964, starring Bette Davis, Olivia de Havilland, Joseph Cotten, Mary Astor, and Agnes Moorehead, and Cecil Kellaway. Now, Hush Hush, Sweet Charlotte is a really interesting movie. It's creepy and like very interesting for Olivia de Havilland's role. So let me just get to a little bit of a summary of what Hush Hush, Sweet Charlotte is about. Bette Davis plays a woman named Charlotte Hollis, and Charlotte is a very big recluse. She's been that way since she was a teenager because of this idea that Charlotte killed a guy named John Mayhew who she had loved, but he couldn't run away with her because he was already married to Jewel Mayhew, who is later on played by Mary Astor. And people think that at a party one night she chopped off his hand and chopped off his head, and her father, who was like this well-to-do guy, and you know, they lived on a huge southern plantation, so everybody knew who the Hollises were, and Charlotte never had to go to jail for what she did, but she just became this like batshit crazy old lady, and eventually a highway needs to be built and her house is in the way of the highway, so people want her to, like, you know, move out. People from the town, they're like, you gotta move out, you know, and she's like sitting there literally with her rifle shooting at people like to get off of her property. And who comes in to help her but her cousin Miriam, played by Olivia de Havilland, and also to kind of help her along is a doctor named Drew, played by Joseph Cotten. And Miriam and Drew had been very close for a while when they were younger, until the whole thing with Charlotte happened, because Miriam lived with Charlotte and her father after something happened with her parents. They took her in and everything. But yeah, and after Miriam comes in, things start to get really weird for Charlotte. She starts thinking that she sees John. She starts thinking that she sees John with his hand cut off and his head cut off, and she just starts like hallucinating, and then you eventually find out why and who. There's a big clue: who was causing the hallucinations. And that is about all I'm going to give you, because Hush Hush, Sweet Charlotte is really good, and I don't want to like do the twist or surprise ending to tell you what happens. Hush Hush, Sweet Charlotte is actually one of my favorite movies, and it is one of my favorite movies because it's a role that you rarely see Olivia de Havilland play. Maybe never before this, or maybe in smaller role, I'm not sure. Olivia de Havilland is actually the bad guy in this movie, and I loved it. I remember seeing this movie for the first time, and when she says "damn you" to Bette Davis, to Charlotte, I was dying. I lost it. Not laughing, I was just like, Olivia de Havilland, sweet Melanie Wilkes from Gone with the Wind, and all those cute, adorable little fluffy movies in the 30s and 40s. Oh my god. It was just awesome. I love her in this movie. This is like definitely one of my favorite roles for Olivia de Havilland. Joseph Cotten is kind of annoying in this movie. I don't know if it's like the accent that he puts on, but I wasn't a fan of it. But still, he's a great actor. You know, he's really good, and I did like him and Olivia de Havilland together in this. Bette Davis is Bette Davis. I am not really crazy about Bette Davis. I think she is okay. Once she started to make movies when she was getting older, to me, she just became really creepy. And like, I never thought of her as a very great actress anyway. And I mean, in this movie, she was good. I mean, there were some scenes where she like overacted like big time. And I was just like, oh god, please. You know, I rolled my eyes, I kind of like ignored them, and you know, it was just, it was silly stuff. But she was good. You know, I think they picked out a good Charlotte and Bette Davis. Agnes Moorehead is a creepy mother. Oh my god. Any movie she's in, I think Agnes Moorehead, I want to say of course I've seen her in Citizen Kane. I think I may have seen her in another film besides Citizen Kane and Hush Hush Sweet Charlotte, but for the life of me, I cannot remember right now. And she was really good. I think she was like the forerunner, really. She was doing what other people hadn't, you know, back in the 40s and when she was making movies, and especially back in the 60s. She was allowing herself to get into the character of who she was playing. Like, her character Velma is like the help around the house for Charlotte, and they're like really close. Velma's always been taking care of Charlotte, and she's just like, she's crazy. She is like super crazy, and she's like really jealous of everybody. I mean, she kind of sees what's really going on, so you kind of feel bad for her, and then you're kind of like, you're crazy, like you're influencing Charlotte. But like Agnes Moorehead, like I remember first watching this movie and she kind of just like blew me away, because I wasn't used to seeing an actress do like method acting, I guess you can say it was. She like became this like decrepit woman, like batshit crazy, untrusting woman. And I thought that was really, really cool. So Agnes Moorehead gets a huge thumbs up and a huge 100% awesome job from me. Not that it matters, because Agnes Moorehead was just an awesome actress. And, you know, just, I mean, if you're not a fan of Bette Davis or any of the other characters, or if you're just really into acting, you gotta watch Agnes Moorehead in Hush Hush Sweet Charlotte. I do have to comment on the cinematography, because black and white, for me, if the story is creepy, black and white cinematography can make the story creepier. But for some reason, I mean, I don't mind watching black and white movies, but for some reason the black and white kind of like pissed me off in this movie. I don't know why. I guess, honestly, I can't even guess. I don't even know why. But I wasn't a fan of the black and white. There were certain scenes where the black and white cinematography like was perfect, but for most of the movie I was just like, I don't like the way this was filmed. Maybe it was the play with the lighting, or just the angle of the shot. I don't know, but there were just some scenes that I wasn't too crazy about it being in black and white. But again, I really can't see Hush Hush Sweet Charlotte being in color at all, because it just has that, you know, like creepy undertone to it. And like the black and white does work, as I said, in certain scenes, not all of it, if that makes any sense whatsoever. So that was my review slash ramble of Hush Hush Sweet Charlotte from 1964, starring Bette Davis, Olivia de Havilland, Joseph Cotten, Agnes Moorehead, and Cecil Kellaway. If you liked this review in any way, please give it a thumbs up. Leave your comments down below if you have seen Hush Hush Sweet Charlotte. What's your favorite scene? How much do you like Olivia de Havilland in this movie? How much do you like anybody in this movie? Let me know down there. And also in the comments, if you have any suggestions of what I should watch, be them classic movies or even newer movies, let me know down there. And if I pick your movie and I watch it and I review it, I will give you a shout out. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button for future Let's Get Reelz movie reviews and classic movie Thursdays, because that is what I like to do here. And as always, keep watching movies and stay absolutely fabulous.